Welcome to URP Practical Talk. I'm your host, Pastor Wendell Jeffrey. Namaste. Christian greetings. Salams. This is the segment Talking Practically. Only in countries with dictatorships, the governments never change. And only in countries that have flawed constitutional constructs do the governments remain in power for protracted lengths of time. Guyana has been plagued, and some might even say cursed, with both of those phenomena, those realities. We had an autocratic government for almost 28 years. Then for the next 23 years, we had a government which was grossly corrupt, but it remained in power because of our flawed constitutional construct. However, both in 2011 and again in 2015, we woke up and we took a chance and we took a stand and we lent significant support to a third force. However, we seem to be gradually sliding back into the depressive state of corruption and autocracy. In just 2 short years, we have seen a level of corruption and governmental bullyism that is unnecessary. And it is becoming more and more obvious that the folks we elected are very tone deaf and disconnected from the desires of those who elected them. Therefore, we the people have to continue the resistance. We have to change our government and our politicians until we arrive at a country that more closely aligns with what we know that is best for us. We have to continue with the resistance until we find a government that functions with the well-being of all Guyanese in mind, and not just the wealth and prosperity of the leaders, their friends, and their families. As a third force, we give the AFC a chance, and they have blown it, but they have not blown the resistance. So let's try now another third force, and let's continue to resist and continue to try. Resist and try until Guyana is no longer the idiotic laughing stock of the entire Caribbean. And that's talking practically. Thank you. Doc, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Looking regal.
Yes, thank you.
You're looking regal.
Yeah.
Is that diamonds on your clothes, Doc?
Some of it.
Doc, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Looking fresh as usual.
Yes.
We've been getting some good reports on our program, and we want to thank the viewers. We thank you for watching. Some of you are sharing it on the internet, and we want to thank you so much. We've gotten a lot of positive comments as we continue the resistance, the URP, as we seek to form an integral part in the administration of Guyana. Doc, we are in crisis mode in the agricultural sector.
Definitely.
We got rice, we got sugar, we got coconut, and it seems as though we don't have a plan for the sustaining of these factories. What's your take on it?
Well, as today we know that rice is the largest industry right now because of the closing down of the sugar and things like that. Government has to pay more attention to the rice farm. You can't tell the rice farm this is private industries and you all have to seek market for yourself and things like that. You know, the behavior of the government in that regard is not right. Because more the government can encourage rice farmer and try to help seek market for them and for them to get a better price in rice, you're developing your country more and more by doing that, because the farmer will have more money as spending power.
Correct.
They can give their children to go to the shopping. They can, they can do so many different things. They can go on holidays and so forth and make themselves happy. So if the government will be able to embrace these people and try to help secure market, overseas market, it will be a win-win situation for Guyana and the people.
So do you think the reason that we have this dilemma is because the government is unable to secure the markets? Is it that they don't have the right persons in the ministries? What do you think might be causing this problem that we have with a bulk of rice, and we have gone to the rice farmers and we've seen them, the paddy stack up to the roof, and what do you think is the problem?
Well, the problem is from the top, there's no good management from the top. Now, if you will put somebody in charge of agriculture, they must have idea about agriculture. Not because they have a little piece of graduation paper from the university or something, make them to be managers,
Okay.
you know. And this has been a bad situation we are having in Guyana. Government had been putting their friends and their party comrades and all these things into this position where they are not fit to be in these positions, right? Now you can't, because of your loyalty to the party, you will put a person in a position and they are no good for that position. So what will happen? You're carrying down the industry more and more because you don't know what you're doing, right? The government ought to help put people out there to go and secure market overseas, to help us. Let us try to encourage the rice millers and so forth. Let me do start do packaging. Let us not only thinking of a bulk shipment,
Okay.
right? Because if we do packaging, we will be able to get more money, as one, and then we will be able to sell to different islands in the Caribbean. We will be able to feed this whole Caribbean.
Okay.
We will be the breadbasket again of the Caribbean by doing those kind of things.
Right.
You know, we have been known years and years when a young man at the breadbasket of the Caribbean. Today we are a disgrace to the Caribbean. You know, so in this aspect, I think that government should rethink their stand and put the correct people and let them look for assistance, where they can get assistance in going about there and help anybody who can assist. You know, not because, for instance, the URP are saying things that what happened in the country, you will hold them down for that.
Right.
You know, you should give us a chance also. Let us see what we can do, because we all have our friends in different parts of the world.
Correct.
Right? So where we can able to make some kind of inroad in helping in this situation.
Well, and I know, Doc, that and we talked about this before. We talked about the fact that President Granger, before he was president, he talked of this open door policy to governance, to this all inclusive. You remember when they started the afternoon, they say, look, let's bring the parties together, and then the coalition. They had this. They projected this desire to be all inclusive and not be unilateral in the governmental approach. But now they are in. I guess that's what you're talking about. They seem unwilling to bring in anybody who does not drink their soup.
No, definitely, because we have seen this in Guyana here today. That the things that they have promised the people, they haven't been delivering. Everything they promised, they talk about giving better price for the rice farmer, zero. Nothing has been. President Granger come out and said, well, rice industry is private industry. They got to seek their own market. They have to. The factory man has to deal with the rice farmer. Now, President Granger doesn't understand. He doesn't know these industries will make such a statement because many of the rice miller has been screwing the farmers all the time.
Well,
you know, and you can't try the devil in hell. You know, you cannot do that. Right?
I like that.
You see?
I like that.
So what you're telling the rice farmer to go back to these people who are slaughtering them every day, every time. Look at our price on paddy today. It's about $23 a bag. Now, many of these farmers can't even clear their expenses who are small farmers. They would not be able to survive.
Doc, have you been following the breaking story as it relates to the fact that the last administration took money from the Petro-Carib deal that was supposed to be paying the rice farmers? Have you been following that?
Yes, I know.
That's such a sad
yes,
story.
I know a little about that. That you know, they should have pay the rice farmer more than what they used to pay them.
Correct.
And this today.
And they should have had a reserve.
Yeah, definitely.
You know?
And today, the same thing happening. And most of these rice farmers, I must tell you, those are the people who have been supporting the last administration.
Correct.
And the last administration, I don't know what happened with our people's mind. I don't know how they think. Because it's the last administration has been carrying them down the drain too, in this. So I can't understand why people are thinking this way,
You had a large rally. The URP had a large rally in Kanji, Berbice on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have any takeaway from that? What I mean, when you met and you greeted the people and so on, they showed up in their numbers. What do you think is happening in Berbice and in the other areas, but particularly Berbice?
Pastor, it's a very sad situation. Very, very sad situation to know that, these people has all these rice, sugar industries and so forth. Mm-hmm. These people have grown up in that. They have sent their children to school, educate their children. Some of their children become doctors, lawyers. They have built their homes, beautiful homes and everything on the same sugar industry. Now, for a number of years, we are telling people that, that sugar, we're bailing out sugar in the country. Of course, if a business is not making money, we should divert to some other thing.
Okay.
But by diverting, you should come and you should go to the people and have meetings with these people and explain to them what is happening and why we have to do these things. Don't only say sugar is not making money, right? What about you? Did you ever think that the managers that you have causing these problems? Because the managers them making the bulk of the money.
Correct.
It's not the ordinary people making the bulk of the money. So what we are saying that government we have seen in Guyana, that nothing that government runs, no industry that they run as a business has been successful.
Well, yeah, we know that.
And where are we going? We can't be able to think. This is why the URP believe that government should not own anything. Let the private people own what they have to own, like United States, Canada. The government now own anything.
They just create the environment.
They create the environment for the private people to go and think, and more the private people do, and they're successful. Right, it's better for the government because more tax come into the place.
One of the things that was highlighted at the meeting that you had there in Kanji was the fact that it was at that very estate that the late Burnham began the privatization of the sugar industry. Yes. And it is so, it's almost full circle.
Yes.
Because now it is a major estate that is being shut down by the PNC administration because, like you were saying, governments do not have the wherewithal to manage these kind of things.
Let me cut you in there, Pastor. Government shut down the estate, yes. Mm-hmm. But the estate was already in the chopping blocks.
You mean on
the last administration? It was already in the chopping blocks. All the Wales estate was on it. This estate is on the chopping block. And many of the people know that, right? Many of the people know that these estates were. But what the government had done, when a government take over, they start to follow from where the other government left off. Mm-hmm. So they have been, they see this, they see an opportunity, close it down. Mm-hmm. Now don't try to spend money in it because it's a bad politics for them.
Correct.
Because if they spend money in the area, no matter what they spend, they feel that these people would not vote for them.
Right. No, I want you to develop that point because that is one of the points that you were making in Berbice, that it is the PPP that has brought the sugar industry to the crisis it's in right now, and also the rice industry because of the using the Petrocarib money and so on. But let's talk about sugar. It is the PPP who was integrally involved in the sugar industry and ruin the sugar industry. Yet, they can depend on the political support of the very people whose lives they messed up. How do you rationalize that?
Because you know what they're seeing? All what these people are seeing, that they want a coolie man to run them. They want a coolie man to be president.
Wow.
Just like how the black people seeing, they want a black man to be president. Because you hear people say, I hear in my own ear many times, that you know what? The black people saying, as long as a black man leading, I don't care whom they thief. And the Indian man say the same thing. As long as Indian man leading, I don't care whom they thief. But they fail to understand who they're thieving from. It's you and I they're thieving from. You and me they're thieving from.
Wow.
Right? They're not thieving, because every resource in this country, it belongs to us, the people. It didn't belong to the government who are there in parliament. Everything that marks government in this country belongs to the people.
Correct.
And is the people resources.
Correct.
So people have to understand and come to the understanding that when government steal, when the minister and all of these people steal, they're stealing from you, the people. They're not stealing from somebody else. You know. So as long as we can be able to think about these things and understand that this is the way how things go, then Guyana will go forward. Otherwise, we will never ever go forward in the way that we think. And I always say on this program, if we want a serious change for a safe and modern Guyana, we have to start think carefully.
Doc, one of the things that was very noted in that meeting that they had there in Kanji, the URP had in Kanji last week, was the fact that persons were saying that what they admire about the URP is this constant call, like you just made, for us to transcend the racial, the racial conflicts and the racial agendas that we have. And I think that it is catching on, that people are beginning to think, look, we can't continue to vote race if we want the country to become better. We can't continue to do that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Doc, let me touch on another topic here. Okay. The coconut industry seems to be a very pivotal industry on that. And I think you were talking off camera on that. What's your take on that?
The coconut industry, all these industries, right, are very important industries. We have to rethink and look at all these things very seriously, right? I know when I was a more young man, we had coconut estate blooming all over the place. Coconut's supposed to be our third largest industry in Ghana, right? And we have to pay attention to coconut because coconuts have a lot of value. It have a lot of money outside there, in outside market.
Correct.
Right? And government should look seriously into these things. Now, government should be able to encourage farmers. And not only encourage them to plant, but encourage them that they will be able to assist in do marketing for them. That is why the URP are saying that we should be able to set up an international marketing system. Don't tell people only to planting, but tell them what to plant, where you'll be able to get buyer from. Like overseas. Now, coconut is a very big demand, water coconut water, and so forth in other countries.
Correct.
And it's expensive.
So it's medicinal too.
Yeah, these are things that we have to start to look into. Bring back these industries. Of course, you will add additional industries. Like when the URP was here since '92, we were talking about aloe vera. Aloe vera as a new industry. Nobody look at us and take us very serious. But aloe vera have so much market up to now.
Correct.
I'm talking about 20-something years ago.
Right. Of
And
course,
it's still
there's a lot
because
of
all
products.
cream, in medicine, in, you know, all kind of thing, they use aloe vera. Even in toothpaste, they make aloe vera today.
Right,
You know,
right.
so it's a huge market and it has money. And those are things not difficult to grow.
Okay.
We have so much land here, you know, but our government doesn't understand, you know, what they're doing. You see, a government can't survive if the people are not comfortable.
Correct.
And today we have seen today in Guyana, from east to west and from north to south, people are not comfortable. They all cries. Right?
Doc, I want to touch on a subject. You don't have to follow me up, right? I want to touch on it, and then if you're not, you can move on. What is your take on this clarion cry that is going on now for hemp? Do you have a take on that, or you'd rather not deal with that right now? No, the hemp folks are saying, look, it's not an addictive product, and there are so many byproducts that can. I mean, it's not an addictive herb, and there are so many byproducts that can be generated from it, and so on. And I know that we had the opposition leader making some statements and so on. Do you want to talk any on that? Because now that you're talking about the different things that coconut can do, that is one of the things that persons are talking about.
It's development. It's development. They might misinterpret what is hemp. Hemp, right? Because I just came from United States and I brought a whole heap of a package with different things that what hemp produce.
Okay.
For your face and for your so I was made to understand about 25,000 different things hemp product can use for.
So
you know,
are you saying, are you prepared to say now, as the leader of the United Republican Party, that should your party form a part of the government or form the government, that you'd be willing to look favorably at allowing for the cultivation of hemp?
Definitely, Pastor. If the United States of America can accept it and plant it and produce, you know, the different things from it, the Canadians are doing it now, and they are making. I think Canadian said they are making $500 million a year on hemp, and they start. Holland is producing. England, all of them are producing. Why we can't produce it? Why the Canadian don't want us to produce it, or the American? They only want to be rich. Don't we want to be rich too?
And I get some of the arguments you're hearing by the guys who are of the Hemp Association. That's what they're saying. They're saying that these developed countries don't want the smaller countries to get involved because of the monetary benefits, and because we can produce it, given our climate and our workforce, we could produce hemp at such a low cost that the international countries are putting pressure on the governments to not allow it because it would affect their money-making ventures. You understand capitalism and how it works?
Yeah.
So that's what some of the hemp guys are saying.
Well, you know, rice, for instance, we are making a couple of $100,000 per acre. With hemp, they're estimating you can make millions of dollars, up to probably $5 to $6 million per acre, and it's a 3-month crop. Why we can't explore it? Why we can't look at it? You know, the URP would like to look at it. You know, to go. If there's regulation, we'll have regulation to regulate it. What it should make, for what it should plant, and what it should make, or what, you know, if you come in that way. But when you come and you say, okay, hemp got to go through, will be got is marijuana and this and that. Maybe it's a marijuana cousin, yes. But it can't go just like that and pick and smoke hemp as marijuana. They have a process to do it, to go down that kind of a road. You know. So anything that can make our country developed, let us have a look at it. Let us try it. You know, look, Suriname. Right over here, Suriname government go, and the Hemp Association, who is in Guyana here, they just talk to the people in Suriname. Suriname now is planting hemp.
Yeah, you understand. That was a funny story. They said that when Mr. Bautista, President Bautista came, those guys met with him, and it was based on the information that the Guyana Hemp Association gave to Bautista that allowed Bautista to go back and allow for him to be planted now
in days.
Suriname.
In days.
Yeah.
That is progressive thinking.
Yeah.
You know, don't think because you come from your political party, you can't do it. We are working toward the development of Guyana. We have so much tremendous amount of land. What are we doing with it? Let us explore. Let us try new things. You know, let us not stick to the same thing, because these two political parties have been sticking with the same thing for over 50 years. No new development in Guyana. We want new development in Guyana. We want our people to work as much as they can work, and the sky must be the limit. If you want to become a millionaire or a billionaire, you must have that opportunity to become. Is how you care about yourself and how you do it. And this is what the URP want for Guyana. You know, that every one of us was able to develop ourselves. Race does not put bread and butter, I always said, on the table.
Correct.
It's a policy
Correct.
that put bread and butter on the table. And that policy is the URP policy. None of them has the policy what URP has to develop Guyana.
I like when you get passionate, Doc.
You know, no, but because it's my
I like
country.
that. Yes.
This is my motherland.
Yes.
I went overseas. I lived more than half of my life overseas. And when I go to places and when I see development, my wife can tell you that, my daughter can tell you when they go with me in holiday. I always say, God, when my country will become like this.
Well, I was saying in my monologue, it seems as though we are cursed. You know, it's something is really.
No, it's not. It's not.
No,
cursed.
no. I'm just saying how for 50 years we are the most, with all the resources we have in Guyana. For 50 years, we're the most backward country. Can somebody explain that? You take Barbados or Trinidad or St. Vincent, Dominica, those little islands.
I can explain that.
And it's bad management. Only today I was on Regent Street and some guys were talking outside the Hammets.
It's greed.
Well, bad management allows for greed and corruption and all these kind of things, you know?
Greed take over anything that you have greed. You're greedy. You want this, everything. You see, most of these people, as I said earlier, get into government. They are ministers. You know, they might get one little cargot from the university. That make them minister. They got some friends in the president or prime minister or minister. Pull them in. Look, you come here. I'll put you in charge of this department. You're never in charge of one person in your life. You give them in charge of 100 people, and with so many $1 million, what do you think they'll do with it? Take it and put it in their back pocket.
Doc, because you're poor, though, don't mean you have to be unethical. I think it's a mindset. Because if not all the ministers who went in there poor are gangsters.
I haven't said that all the ministers. I said many of them.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. So it means that many of the ministers have a bad mindset.
Yeah,
because there's no accountability. You know, nobody gets locked up. You don't throw nobody in jail. We don't do nothing to the ministers.
You know, in Guyana, we said never see, come to see. This is what's happening here. Yeah. Never see, come to see. Many of these ministers and so on, they never had money. They never see money. So now they see it, and the power they got, and the kind of ability they got to spend, you know, they get crazy.
And what about those who have taken billions and still taking more? But anyhow, that's another.
That's greed. You know, they all more a man gets, more he wants.
That's another thing.
And you know why? Because none of them doesn't have what you call God in them.
Correct. No, that is
right.
No, that.
You know, they don't have what it calls God in them. Mm-hmm. So what they will do? They keep on taking them. Nobody's seeing them. Yeah. Nobody sees them what they do.
And they're not accountable.
You know?
Doc, we out of time.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Yeah. This was a very passionate discussion. Doc, I love you. I love your passion. I love your vision for Guyana. Folks, thank you for listening. We're completely out of time. God bless you. Visit us on the web, www.urpguyana.com or URP Guyana on our Facebook page. God bless you real good. Next week, same time, same station. Until. Peace. Bye-bye.